Welcome, everybody. You are listening to the Omnichannel Podcast, a podcast from digital marketers to digital marketers. I'm your host, Dominique Caldegrand, and my mission is to help fellow marketers and entrepreneurs to grow their businesses online. So buckle up and let's get started. Alright, you guys, in today's episode, I had amazing Geni on my podcast, and she's an absolute LinkedIn wizard, you guys. She's going to talk to you about how to build a six-figure personal brand only using LinkedIn. You guys are going to be learning so much from this conversation alone, so keep on listening. Thank you so much, Geni, for coming. I wanted to talk to you about LinkedIn marketing specifically because when I've seen your Facebook page, I was like, I need to talk to this girl. She is doing something that is not very common in the practice as well. So I wanted to make sure that I have you in the podcast and just tell me about why LinkedIn. How did you become a LinkedIn marketing expert?
Yeah, well, LinkedIn is a very untapped platform, and I was building my agency back in. So I moved to London. So I'm originally from Spain, from Barcelona, and it was my dream to move to London. And I was like, okay, I want to move to London and I want to establish my own business, my own agency back then. So I started with jewelry and I started with doing like some e-commerce. And I started like with email outreach and stuff. And then I then switched or transitioned to financial advisors, and they were on LinkedIn. It's like, okay, I need to make this work. And I got a lot of LinkedIn courses, but a lot of them were like not good because they don't actually tell you how to get clients. Like from the process of someone lands into your profile, they see your content, then you talk to them, you get them on a call, and you close them. No one was talking about that. Yeah, everyone was just like, oh yeah, social selling score and all of those vanity metrics. Like, so I had to figure a lot of things out myself, and it was hard at the beginning because, like, honestly, it's not that you have like a plug and play system. And then out of desperation, I think I made it work. So probably in the first week of me using everything, I landed like 12 calls, which was good. And then the pandemic hit, but I was lucky enough to have inbound leads. So my first two agency clients back then came to me on LinkedIn, and it was such an easy sale. And then from there, I started like sharing my results, and then people started to comment on me, just like, Geni, can you please help me? And from there, it transitioned to basically consulting other entrepreneurs, other coaches, and basically it went like that.
Yeah. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that, but there's a lot of people that say that LinkedIn is only for B2B. It's only for business to business. Will you agree with that?
Yeah, finally. I know some people that are selling products, but I'm not I don't think it would be as good as Facebook or Facebook Marketplace. For me, it's like, yeah, it's B2B, 100%.
And I also saw in your profile that right now you're helping coaches specifically scale their business up to 10K by using LinkedIn. Like, how's that process looks like for you, and why coaches? Why did you pick them specifically?
Yeah, well, I help coaches, consultants, and also service-based businesses, but I've been lately working more with coaches. So basically, I pick coaches because I'm one myself, and I really want to give them what I didn't have at the very beginning. Give them that, the strategy, the support, everything, kind of like the roadmap, plug and play. And I did coaches because like that's what people wanted. A lot of people started like talking to me on LinkedIn where coaches or consultants. Like, okay, yeah, let me see if I can help you out on that. And so it's sort of like that. And yeah, like right now we're helping coaches scale to 10K or to 20K, whatever they want to do, or optimize their processes in there. And it's been eventful. It's been interesting to see.
Is LinkedIn enough, by the way, in today's world? What do you think, for coaches to scale, or for consultants to scale? Is this only enough to get into that 10K, or should they focus on other platform at the same time? Or do you think that's you have to pick with one and you have to stick with that? Like, what's your take on that?
Yeah, that's such a great question. So I would say that if they want to scale to 10K, LinkedIn is enough for sure. But what I would say is I started combining Facebook with that. So a lot of the traffic that's coming to my LinkedIn profile, I'm sending them to my Facebook group.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, I nurture them with trainings. And that is like what actually, like at scale, because, or even with Facebook, if you're only using Facebook, there will be a point that you will need to start having other platforms so you don't put all your eggs in one basket. But LinkedIn is definitely enough for 10, even 20K. But I teach my clients on how to drive that qualified traffic to a Facebook group so they can close faster as well. But LinkedIn alone would be enough for 6 figures.
Would you like to share with the listeners like some very quick tips on how to optimize a LinkedIn profile in order to attract clients? Because I've seen in your like kind of like messaging that you don't like to promote cold messaging and being ghosted by prospects. Like, what is a simple trick that everyone can use to apply to their profiles, and how can you advise people on that who don't know where to start out, they just created a LinkedIn account?
Yeah. Finally, like I am all against cold pitches, cold DMs. I receive them every single day. They
Me
don't
too.
work.
I've never read them.
Yeah, it's like it's so annoying.
Especially if it's a marketing email with InMail. That
Like oh, that's horrible. Yeah. So I would say that the way to treat your profile would be like a funnel, because that's the way I treat mine. So you have to keep in mind like the top of the funnel and the bottom of the funnel. Top of the funnel being people that are not ready to buy, but they are consuming all your content and that would download. Like for example, if you have a free guide or something like that, and then slowly like nurture them to the bottom of the funnel, which is where you will have your calendar for them to book, or like a masterclass, pre-masterclass, and then from there you upsell them to the high ticket offer. But also what I would say is to have really clear of who you are serving, like who's your niche, what's the main problem, and what is the main solution, like or the main transformation. So for example, my case would be, I know a lot of people are using LinkedIn, but not a lot of them are making money on the platform, and a lot of them are being ghosted. So that's what I help them avoid, to be ghosted on the platform. Just send cold pitches that are going nowhere. So I would say that have really clear who you serve, what you do, how do you help them, and also keep in mind that treat it as a LinkedIn place, but as a funnel, and keep in mind like what is the first step your audience need to take, and the last step they need to take to jump on a call with you and close them.
Okay. So let's assume that I clearly know who I'm targeting and I clearly started to make content. Like, how often do I need to produce content on my LinkedIn profile?
Yeah, I would say from my perspective on this is I would say from Monday to Friday, one piece of content per day.
Oh, wow. That's
Yeah,
a lot of content.
well, it's like 5 pieces per week. It's not that, for example, on Facebook, you can also have to be posting every single day, but you could be posting 3 a week, but also what you put in is what you get out. You will not get inbound leads coming your way if you barely post content. And it will also help you to generate leads faster. The conversion rate, it will be higher as well, because they will start building some familiarity with your brand, and it's just building up your personal brand and your authority. But I would say 5 pieces of content per week.
How long does it take for someone to, when they start working with you, to actually start seeing results and generating those first clients?
Yeah, I mean, that depends, but what we've been seeing is on the first 30 days or in the first 2
Okay.
weeks. We've seen also in the first week that they closed 3 clients. That depends on the person and on their work ethic. But definitely on the first, let's say 4 to 6 weeks, if they have no idea about LinkedIn, they have no audience, no nothing, that is how long it would take them. If they have been using LinkedIn, they have been closing deals, they have already like some sort of audience established, then that will be way, like, for example, 2 weeks, let's say, or even less. But it depends on what stage they're at with the LinkedIn journey.
Okay, so it all depends on if you're familiar with the platform or if you're a brand new person. And it also depends on the frequency and the amount of work that you put in, right? Just to recap.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. How do I actually connect with the right people? Like, can you, obviously for Facebook, there are Facebook groups and they're awesome because they actually put together a bunch of people with the same interest. Is there something similar in LinkedIn? I have no idea because I've never used the platform
for sure. It's a great question too. On LinkedIn, you can also use groups. The only difference is that they barely have an engagement, but that doesn't mean, again, that there is not people like actually going through what is being shared on the groups. So myself, I use LinkedIn groups a lot to just connect, share value, share content with them. I also use, for example, I follow different influencers that are like way ahead of me in my same industry. And what I do is I just comment on their posts. I just engage with comments of other people. I start connecting with the people that engage in their posts. And that's also how you start building a more targeted audience. And then also using Sales Navigator. It's as simple as you just typing business coach or business consultant, and you have the entire list. You just need to know how to approach them the right way.
So how do you go about, again, building your list? I think you mentioned that you can research. Do I need to build a list of like a hit list of like the top influencers that are ahead of me? And do I have to do some research as well? Or just like, how do you go about just creating that hit list?
Yeah, for sure. In my case, what I have is a top 5 list of influencers in my space. And by influencers, we are talking about people that have, let's say, 30,000, 40,000 followers. Obviously, I have to have engagement on their content. So I just build like the top 5, and then I make sure that every day I comment and I engage with their content as well, because a lot of them then will just engage with your content. And if they do, that means that all their entire network will see that they engage with your content, even if you're not connected with them.
Wow.
And that is just kind of like a pool of people and of leads you will have to just work on those. So that's something that I found really interesting. And it's been working quite well. I think I got like 3 or 4 clients out of this strategy alone. So it was real powerful for sure.
So how's the process looking like working with you? Like, do you consult one-on-one? Do you have like a mastermind? Like what is the process of? So just walk me through once I want to work with you. Like how's it look like for anyone who's interested?
Yeah. So right now we have a program, Mastermind, and it's a hybrid of different trainings involving my team as well. One-on-one sessions, Q&A calls, 2 Q&A calls every week. It's a very hands-on program, very hands-on on accountability, because that's really important. And it's a plug and play system, really. It's everything that I've learned this past 2 years, everything that I invested into, put in like a 12-week program, and that's how I do it. And then we have like a higher mastermind, which is one-on-one, which is for people that are already making, let's say, 20K, 50K a month, with other sources and some with LinkedIn. So we just take a look at their entire systems, optimization, delivery, appointment setting. It's kind of like more of a general view on what it takes to scale the business to 6 figures. So that's the one that we have, like the higher program. but right now we are working a lot on the LinkedIn Mastery program, which is the one that we take people from 0, 5 to 10K, 20K, 30K.
So that would be initially like an online course or like a coaching session.
Yeah, it's not a course. It's like a consulting program. So we have, for example, one-on-one calls, then we have weekly calls, Q&A group calls. Then we also have a lot of trainings that are recorded, so it's like plug and play. They can watch it, implement it. Then we set up a call with them and to make sure that everything is being executed, and that's basically how we operate. We chose this type of way to deliver because we've had, or I personally consulted like 10 to 12 people one-on-one. And then because you only have 24 hours in a day that you can do. So if you want to reach more people, then you will need to kind of like do a group coaching or like a program that will allow more people to get into a program. And that's basically what we did. We just had all the feedback from these 12 people, and then we put it into a program. So like results honestly are there. You just need to follow everything, because there's no way that you will not get results if you follow the entire blueprint that we actually give you.
What is the biggest mistake that you see people on LinkedIn making?
Well, there are a lot, but the biggest one is they just not engaging with other people and just throwing cold DMs out there, hoping it sticks. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. People do business with people that they like, with people that they have some sort of familiarity with. A lot of another big mistake is them not building their personal brand, starting with automation right away, and then just getting their account banned. That happened to me when I was getting started too.
Really?
So yeah, that's a big no-no for sure. So and probably another big mistake is them not taking seriously, not being consistent. You cannot have like 1 week of posting content and then you don't post any more content until 2 to 3 weeks later. It doesn't work like that. There's a lot of business that can be and a lot of revenue on the table on LinkedIn. You just need to leverage it the right way, build the right connections the right way, and then it's a matter of how many people you can reach with one post and just keep the ball rolling from there.
Is there any paid option like on Facebook that you can boost your post? I don't know. I'm asking you.
Yeah, no, you could do like LinkedIn ads with a business page, but I do not recommend. Everything that we do is purely organic, and I've done paid ads before.
Why would you not recommend it, by the way?
Yeah, we don't recommend it because you cannot do an ad with an individual page like Facebook. Like you need a business page and like a business image, kind of like more of a corporate kind of image. LinkedIn ads are also way more expensive than Facebook ads. I know because I've done Facebook ads and LinkedIn ads. So with a budget of 2K, you will probably not see as much results. And if you had like 3 to 5K, and if you're getting started, or like if you're 20K, but you have to throw like 5K on those type of ads, we just don't recommend it. If you were, for example, like a corporate or a corporate advisor or something, or like a financial advisor or something like that, then probably. But if we're talking about coaches, career coach, health and wellness coach, that I don't think that would be like a good way to go. Or for example, if you have an agency, maybe then yes, and if your target market is on LinkedIn, for sure. So for organizations, I would say yes, but for individuals, I would say organic works so super well.
There is a section in my podcast where I ask entrepreneurs what were their biggest fuck ups in their career. If you had to think about what was your biggest fuck up, like what would you say?
Oh my gosh.
Spending money on LinkedIn ads, maybe.
I love that question. I love that section. I love that question too. Oh, I had a lot. My biggest one was when I did automation and I had no idea of who I was sending the messages to. I just was desperate to get clients. So I just went to LinkedIn sales and said financial advisor. And I just didn't care about their location, their names, anything. I just put that on automation and I just like let it go. And yeah, I had some calls from that, but like I had no sales and then my account got banned. And I wasn't able to get my account back until like 2 months later. So my entire like lead gen was gone. That was the biggest one. And also like when you're like going and doing that thing, I remember that I was just replying to messages and I was just switching names. So instead of John, I said Michael, or instead of, and I was like, oh my goodness. So it was, yeah, that was the biggest one, honestly. But you learn from those mistakes, but that was the biggest one. Or sending a lot of spam messages, like 7 follow-up messages when they don't even reply to the first one. And it's just like, hey, here's my service. We do this, we do that. Let me know if you have time for a chat, without even caring about their problems, the situation, their goals, if they even need me or not. Oh, that was 2 years ago. That was a big one for sure.
Yeah. When it comes to follow-up messages, do you always let people come to you, by the way? Like, do you let, or do you advise your clients to let people contact them, or do you also somewhat promote outreach, like organic outreach as well, but not being super spammy and not sending 7 follow-up messages? Like, what's your take on that?
Yeah. Obviously you have to have outbound. Myself, I have inbound coming, but I always have outbound too, because if anyone tells you that they don't do any outbound, meaning not one single message and everything is inbound, I mean, maybe they're doing so super good, but no outbound, zero. I mean, that's suspicious, because everyone, you have to have outbound, you have to be out there in order to have inbound. Inbound is not going to happen if you don't have outbound, if you don't have your, like, people talking to people, you having your brand out there. So I would say that, yes, you will need to have outbound, but you don't need to chase people. You're just having a conversation. But this type of outbound is kind of like a warm one. So that means that you will not reach out to someone that you haven't commented on a post, or they have commented back on one of your comments, or they have, for example, liked and comment one of your posts, or view your profile, or view your story. You will not reach out to someone that you never had any touch point with, because that doesn't work. That's not efficient. So when I say outbound, it's a type of when someone like does some sort of action or takes some sort of action on your profile, then you can go and be like, hey, thanks so much for visiting my profile. I really appreciate it. I'm curious what stood out to you, what made you drop by. And then you, from there, you start a conversation. That's different than just automate everything and be like, hey, I'm Geni Core. I'm a LinkedIn consultant. And I just
can help you. I can help you. I can help you.
Yeah. It's like, that doesn't work. So anyone, like, no, don't do that. That doesn't work, honestly.
Yeah, I feel like everyone, especially now on Facebook, I've seen that people just want to help me every day. Like I've received messages of how to scale my coaching business to 7 figures, but I'm not even a coach, but it's fine.
Yeah.
So that's just very common. But I do feel like because everyone wants to just help, you just get lost in translation and just don't even know who to trust anymore. So that is really good advice, that there has to be that initial connection, whether it's a story view, like a profile visit, because then you have leverage as well to say like, hey, why did you friend me on Facebook? Like with you, I think that was the same. That was exactly what happened. You sent me a message and I completely forgotten why. And I was like, hey, wait a second, why did I add her? And I checked back your profile. I'm like, yeah, I know why, because she's an awesome LinkedIn wizard and I need to talk to her. So I think that happened with us as well.
Yeah, like honestly, building relationships is the number one thing. And it's so funny because it's what a lot of our clients and a lot of people in the industry are struggling with. Like, you're not gonna close someone on a 5K, 7K, 10K program if you first don't like with value. Then you build a relationship, meaning you try to find if they are strong with something, and if they're strong with something, you will need to see if you can help them or not. Then if you can help them, you just ask for a call, because like it's like a disservice if you don't do it. But if they are doing all right and they don't need your help, then what's the point of like asking for a call, or just asking for a call within the first message? It's like, hey, here's what I do. Would you like to grab a few minutes in a call? I know that I can provide you great results. I have one of these emails today. It's like, well, thanks so much. I really appreciate it. But like, you don't even know me. You don't even know my business. You don't even know if I need help or I don't need help. You don't even know if I'm a good fit for your program or not. You don't know anything because you haven't even cared about building that relationship and that rapport in the first place. So you don't even have, you haven't even earned the right to ask me for a call. Like every time that I ask for a call is because I earned the right in the conversation. And every time someone books a call with me is because they earned the right to jump on a call with me or someone from my team. But what a lot of people, they just feel like they can just pitch you a call right away and you will say yes. So that's really what I see that's happened a lot. But that would be my take on that.
Yeah, I think that's very true, especially with consultants and coaches who have like free discovery calls. I'm sure you have something similar when you get into talking to people first and see and if you can help them and just assess their situation. But you mentioned very interestingly that you said, okay, at the first message, I'm not going to pitch them and just drop my calling. I can help you. There's my calling. So again, you said you have to earn that. Like, when is a good time? If okay, let's imagine there is someone viewed my profile, like my post, then I will message them to check in. Like, how would that process look like? Because you said don't drop your call link right away. Do you think they would open up to you and be like, so what's your business struggle? Oh, I don't know. I don't think that's even that is just not realistic to have people open up to a stranger, right?
Yeah, I think you have to lead as if you are talking with a friend. Really, you are. It doesn't matter if it's a CEO of whatever company. It is not easy for people to open up, and I think for ourselves as well to open up to our own struggles, right? But I think that whenever I talk with someone, like the first thing I do is I just get some background information about their business, where they're at, like for how long have they been doing this, how many clients they have, and it's also a way of pre-qualifying them. It's like, okay, would I be able to actually help this person? And I'm like, oh, and what, like, how I don't know if they're launching an offer, how's that going for you? Or what are your goals? And oh, amazing, like, are you like close to achieving that? Oh no, actually I'm struggling with this. Amazing. When you find a point that you struggle with, you just lead with that. Oh, amazing, I hear you. Like, what do you feel you're struggling with right now? What's the main issue with that? And then from there you just uncover more struggles they have, and then you will be able to like ask for a call and be able to actually get a call booked. It has to be really organically. It has to build up the conversation, the rapport, and be really genuine and authentic. Because like people actually can really tell from miles away when you're being so fake, and when you're just following a script, like copy and paste it like a robot. Obviously you need to know where to lead the conversation. But I every time that I use the scripts, they never worked. And probably this way of building these genuine relationships with people, it's like the best way, not only for me but for my appointment setters as well, for my team. And it works really well.
Wow. I think they are super important as well, that you build that relationship, you don't copy paste, and you try to get to the root cause of the problem in a genuine way, that you're genuinely interested. You need to go soon, but before you go, is there any books that you would recommend to the listeners that really helped you, or even courses that helped you to get to where you are right now?
That's a great question. What I would say is more than books. I always say this: mindset is everything in business.
Mm-hmm.
So I heard like I listen to a lot of podcasts first time in the morning, self development or business podcasts or whatever that is. Um, when it comes to courses, I would say try and find as much information as you can on LinkedIn resources or on Face or on YouTube. Also, my Facebook group is open for anyone that wants to join. I do weekly live trainings there. So, and just try to like them trying to just get their feet wet before they even invest into a program because I did that and it wasn't the right
Mm-hmm.
program for me. And I already know everything they were talking about. So
Mm-hmm.
that's a lot of money down the toilet.
Mm-hmm.
but um, but yeah, and just be consistent with one thing that you're doing every day. And if it doesn't work in the first 30 days, that's fine. It's the first 30 days. I've been doing this for 3 years now, almost.
Mm-hmm.
And just like give it time and just always have in mind this goal of, okay, what am I doing this? What am I talking with this person? What am I posting this post today? Like, what do I want people to do
Mm-hmm.
when they see my posts or when they see my name out there or when they talk to me? How do I want them to feel?
Mm-hmm.
And then it's everything is going to build out from there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those are great advices as well. That you constantly develop yourself, you constantly better yourself in order for you to be more adequate and better at your job. For the listeners who wants to get in contact with you, would you mind sharing your availabilities, your contact info as well?
Yeah, of course. They can contact me on LinkedIn. So Jenny Core slash B2B consultant. I'm always in there. They can also contact me on Instagram. It's Jenny Core, or they can contact me on Facebook, Jenny Core with two eyes. And yeah, I'm always like either on LinkedIn and
Mhm.
Facebook and or on Instagram.
Well, I'm not going to keep you up any longer because I know you have to run. Do you have any plans? Do you want to grow your business? Like, as far as your future goes, you mentioned about creating a program that's more, even more like 101 or high ticket. Like, how do you see yourself in the future?
Yeah, that's a great question. Right now, we're working towards multiple six figures.
Mm-hmm.
So in the right foundations, the right team. I think one of the most important things is to have the right team. Because even if you have a great offer and a great audience, you also need to have a great team, a player team. And probably by next year, we're going to scale that to 7 figures. And then we will be able to see and assess what type of businesses would like have more impact with our 7 figure mastermind
Mm-hmm.
and how we can like help them further with LinkedIn and with like groups and like with teams of people that we will need to train. That's more of like in the horizon right now because
Mm-hmm.
obviously our focus is on getting the best results for all of our clients, coaches, consultants. But that's what we're working on. And basically we just want to disrupt the entire LinkedIn industry because
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of people that needs to be educated on the platform, what's possible within the platform.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've made 6 figures only on LinkedIn, so I know it's possible.
Mm-hmm.
We just need to spread more awareness and really educate more people that there is possible alongside if they use Facebook and Instagram for
Mm-hmm.
them to use LinkedIn. And that is not all just for corporate people. It's like for people like normal people like me, like you, or
Mm-hmm.
for anyone that really want to make it work for them.
All right. Thank you so much, Jenny, for being here and for the awesome advices. I'll make sure to put all your links in the description so everyone can contact you and work with you and if they need help with to really boost their LinkedIn marketing and make sure that they reach the right persons. All right. It was
For
a pleasure
sure. Thanks
having
so much.
you.
Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, we will keep in touch for sure. And I hope this was helpful for your audience too.
No, it was definitely. It was. I learned so much. I'm gonna go back to LinkedIn. I'm just gonna do something with my profile right now because I haven't been there for ages.
Amazing. Well, have a nice day, and thanks so
too.
much for having me on.
Good luck. Good luck. Talk to you.
Bye.
Bye bye. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. Again, if you'd like to work with Geni and boost up your LinkedIn game, you can reach out to her. I'm going to put all her socials in the description of this podcast. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you guys next time.